immigrants from Latin America or the Caribbean still have the dream that the United States is a land of opportunity. But that doesn't always mean that dream will come true. In the past, immigrants were seen as an important contribution to this country's labor force, and they were welcomed here. Today, most immigrants don't get that same treatment. Whether they do or not depends not so much on the immigrant, but on the needs of the U.S. economy.
Pero venimos buscando los dólares, la preciosidad de ustedes. Con $1 nosotros nos ganamos el día. Y son egoístas. Nos tratan como perros. Y eso es lo que nos duele.
In San Diego County, migrant workers have become more and more visible. Many were legalized under the 1986 immigration law. The demand for their labor is as great as ever, as development intensifies in one of the richest and fastest growing areas in the country. $250,000 homes dot this region, as new communities spring up practically overnight. Scattered throughout this area, in stark contrast to many 2- and 3-car garage homes, are hundreds of makeshift migrant camps. Most are nearly invisible, unless you know where to find them. The living conditions here resemble what Americans expect only in the Third World. Shelters of plywood and plastic are for the lucky ones. Others live under bushes, or in these so-called spider holes. For months, even years at a time, they go without the basic necessities most Americans take for granted: running water, toilets, and electricity.
Hay unas personas americanas que nos aprecian de corazón, ¿verdad? Como humanos. Y hay otras que nos miran como animales, como cuando nos miran hacen... Está uno trabajando todo el día pico y pala y todo el día, y uno a comprar comida para comer, y ellos pues nomás trabajan acá y están perfumaditos y todo, y llegan, y uno llega de trabajar, llega uno a tratar de comprar comida y ya hacen... Y pues natural, como no podemos tener un apartamento y bañarnos echando perfume de $80, $100 y oler bien sabroso. ¿Cómo?
Typically what happens is early in the morning, a group of 30 to 50 workers will congregate on the corner, and they're just waiting for work. Around 10 o'clock, if they haven't been employed for the day, most of them will go away.
Wherever there are groups of unkempt men hanging around together, it's intimidating to people who walk by. That one thing alone is frightening to people to have that on the streets. It's not something they've seen before. Maybe in the Depression years there were things like that, but not since the Depression.
There's a lot of building, a lot of landscaping, and that's typically the work that they're being hired to do. There are a lot of yuppies in the neighborhood that don't have time to go out and do the weeding, but they all want the nice property.
These people, these workers, are very much needed to work in the yards. You see all these beautiful yards that are kept mostly by their work, to work in their homes, and in many other jobs around the house. Then they accept them, then they are not afraid of them, that is, the people who hire them, are not bothered by their presence. However, when the day's work is finished at 5 or 6 o'clock, they certainly want them to disappear.
It's a city problem, but it's not necessarily a city solution. We're talking about federal laws that are governing who's allowed to be here and not allowed to be here. I think the city council may, very much have wanted them to say no one may come up here and look for work, but that's not an option that the city has.